Hello again. Welcome back to the Confident Rebuild Project, where progress gets celebrated, not overlooked. Today, we're talking about why sharing your wins, even the little ones, is the key rebuild to confidence, motivation, and self-belief. And it's exactly why we created Wins Wednesday. At the same time, same place, to share our wins. It's a space to celebrate your progress, your big wins, your small wins, and just your little micro wins. Why I wanted to do this is I was trying to come up with good ways that sharing your wins could be such a good motivator and build your confidence. So that's why I want to do Wins Wednesdays. And today was something that happened today, is something that I want to share because it kind of ties into is when I get up in the morning, I just get up when I'm going to get up. So when I wake up. So this morning I woke up, and when I woke up, I'm like, okay, it's time to get started. So I started out with my breath work, like I'm trying to continually do every day. And I do it for, I don't know, about 10, 20 minutes, somewhere in between there. And then I get into my meditations, which is mostly just thinking about where I'm at and where I want to be in the future. And then I work on trying to strategize my goal planning. But today was a little bit harder than usual, it seemed like, and I couldn't figure it out, and I was a little bit overwhelmed. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a break from this, and I'm just going to close my eyes and visualize where maybe something is just not in sync, or what I'm missing, or what's happening. So I took some time to do that. I just put on a face mask and eye mask, and then closed my eyes and just visualized, kind of went into it again of what was kind of holding me back or what was happening. And it was, my mind had so many things racing and going through that it's just because I had a lot of things going on. So I'm like, I need to narrow down my focus on this and set a priority for my goals. What is my priority? I need to really figure that out. And so my focus was to find a goal that would be really good for setting up my day to be a little bit better. It won't be perfect, but hopefully to be a good day, to plan it out the best I can. So I'm like, well, what's the best way to do that when I have a lot of stuff going on in my head and that I'm trying to figure out for the day? So I'm like, hey, let's grab like at least 10 goals for the day, write them down, and then out of those 10, pick 3. Make 3 of them your priority, but then out of the 3, it's easier to break down that into the one biggest priority and make that the number one thing that I totally focus on no matter what. That's the one that I need to do. So I made sure that I made a goal plan that just followed that strategy. That's what I did first, and now that's going to be part of my daily habit of doing this. So sometime I might put this in the somewhere in Skool that will help others. maybe in this area too, if you're feeling overwhelmed with things. First, I'm going to make it a habit and tweak it or work on it or do whatever I need to do to make sure, or even see if how well it works. And if it does, then I'll bring it out into the Skool field to help others out. But for now, that is kind of where I went with it. So I have my number one priority, and it seemed to work for today. So we'll keep going on it and see where it goes from there. What also Wins Wednesday, what it's about, it's reflecting on challenges that turn into lessons and different breakthroughs. So sometimes, like when you feel overwhelmed, especially like when you have different things going on, like I kind of explained before what I was going through, but there's other things too, like you get overwhelmed with, I have kids, so sometimes getting overwhelmed with kids and trying to prioritize time with them and get that taken care of, because I love my kids and I want to make sure that they're taken care of too. And it's trying to prioritize that time, trying to put that time in so that it fits in different schedules too, can feel a little bit overwhelming to get that in. So it's important to make sure that I have that as a major priority of mine for sure, to make sure that comes in. That's important. And other things as well as, well, I work too. So I want to make sure my work schedule, I can make sure that I prioritize that too, to make sure that that is taken care of also. And the little things that I have to do. Just focusing on a lot of the things, I guess, that are important. And now with my new strategy to put the number one goal down and just totally concentrate on that. And then work on the other two out of the three, and then have the other seven, if I get to them, I get to them. If not, then I'll just, if they're that important, then I'll get them the next day or the following week. If not, then they just weren't that important then. So that's what I try to do also. Wins Wednesday also is supporting others inside this community. Giving encouragement and getting feedback and giving feedback. That's important. How I feel sometimes when people are encouraging to me, it makes me feel good. It's like a win-win. It makes me want to continually work at those things, and it feels like I'm making progress. And it's even nicer when you got people cheering you on that want to help you succeed. It's nice. It just makes you feel good. And getting feedback is really important too. Depends on sometimes who gives you the feedback. If it's like somebody that's always negative all the time, or that you don't really know, then sometimes that's hard. That can help sometimes, but mostly it's better if it's somebody that you really trust, somebody you've been around enough that you know that their personality, that they're giving you the negative feedback or letting you know about things that are actually going to help you. And they always see the best in you and they want you to succeed. So when they give you this feedback and that, they're only just trying to help. I think that's really important to really have somebody that you could trust, and like an accountability partner too. I hope you can find that in here, and to have that person that can help you along. So really it's not about perfection, it's about progress and positive momentum moving forward. The next thing I think that is important is just sharing like the science behind sharing the wins, because then it kind of helps you understand even more so why it's important. I think from what I understand, like sharing the wins, it releases like dopamine in your brain naturally. It's the reward chemical, and it just makes you feel good. It makes you want to continually do it when you have that. And then also when you're talking about the success, it reactivates the positive emotions. You relieve, or you feel those wins, and it just makes you feel positive inside. It helps with that also. Also building social connections too. It helps. As humans, as people, we're like wired to bond through our shared successes. And that's why it's good to share the wins. It just helps you bond that way. And also in like a group setting, like in school, that through this community, that shared wins multiplies. As others share, then more people want to share what they've learned, and they just want to do more sharing and give more wins and feedback, because it inspires people and it brings you one step closer and gets you closer to what your goals are by sharing the wins. It's really, it's a win-win, however you look at it. And another reason for wins is it's about, I guess, celebration and how essential it is of having the celebrations through the wins that you have. There's a study through a Harvard study that talks about the progress principle. And what that is, that small wins are the number one motivator for long-term success. So that's exciting, and that's important to have that. Celebrating reinforces self-efficiency and the belief, I can do this. It lowers the stress hormone, which is cortisol, and boosts confidence-building chemicals, serotonin. An easy way to kind of remember the two that I find is Sarah, she wakes you up in the morning. That's serotonin. And Mel, she puts you to sleep. And that's melatonin. So it kind of helps you know which one is which through that. And it can be helpful also. Celebration builds resistance. So it tells your nervous system you're safe to keep growing. So keep going, keep working through it. That's another thing that's important to know too. And community power. Wins Wednesday builds up culture and support within the community, just helping each other to build the confidence and the growth that is needed for others, just to work together and support each other, build confidence, and hopefully gets people to be able to go in like partners, accountability, have a accountability partner, I guess, and just helps you guide forward. And working together just makes it that much better to get your wins as you're going along. When one person shares that win, it reminds everyone else that the growth is actually happening. So you can feel it making progress as you go along. And it's not about comparing yourself with others. It's about collecting encouragement going forward. Your win helps someone else's belief into their possibility. I think that's mainly what it's trying to do. And that's a win in itself right there. How to participate each week? Well, inside the Skool, we have a calendar, and in the calendar on Wednesdays, of course, because Wins Wednesday, it'll have it listed in there, and then we will have it on a Zoom call. Probably going to go with Zoom. That'll be the one that we'll do. And you just go in a Zoom call, and I think we'll make it like not a lot of time, like a half an hour. And as people want to share more and get into it as we get going, then probably make it an hour or so and really get into the wins as we get going. That's what I would like to see. And then also you can, well, like I talked about, join us live on Zoom, and then we'll post our wins also inside the community through the threads during the day so people can see that too. And then sharing your challenges is also how you turn them around. So there's also the wins, which is important, but it's also talking about your challenges, because as you explain your challenges, there's probably other people that have gone through some of the same things, and then it just helps speak to them and helps other people see that they're not the only one going through that, and we can help each other through that also. And then you comment on those two, and that eventually will get people moving in the right direction, build momentum. And it's good to have reflection too, and kind of look at it as like, what did these wins teach us about ourselves? And to really kind of step back and see that. Then you could see yourself growing, personal growth too, through that. And closeness with inspiration, which is like confidence is built like a brick by brick, I guess you could say. Like, imagine yourself like stacking different bricks up, and each win is a brick in your foundation of bringing yourself from that small goal to where that your purpose is for your big goal. And don't just wait for that big win. Celebrate the little wins. The ones that you get during the day. Like I said, like write those down. I talked about this before. And then at the end of the week, or at a certain time, then celebrate that. Maybe that's the time you go and have something that you enjoy. Like, maybe that's the one night out of the week that maybe you go, if you like to have a beer or go out for drinks with friends and that. Then maybe that's your win that you can celebrate on. Or if you're a chocolate lover, you like chocolate, maybe that's one day you got some chocolate ready to go for those wins. And maybe if you don't get that win for some reason, to be able to talk about that, put it in, but not to celebrate. Don't have it. Wait for maybe the next week when you're going to nail it. And then you have that to shoot forward to have the bullseye, that mark to go through, and to make sure that you're inspired by having the goal to have action to go get that done and taken care of. But if you just continually just have, I guess, all these different things celebrated on, then unless you have an incentive and a reason for it, then it won't be as big of a deal. You want to make it a big deal, even for the little wins, like we're talking about here. A good thing too is just measuring up your wins too. Measuring your wins is important. Like talking about them, like we were saying on the Wins Wednesday, and document your wins as you go, and have a plan as you're doing your goals, of putting them down somewhere, and then you're not just trying to think about it on Wednesday. You actually have them all kind of stacked up and pick one of them out of there that means a lot to you, and maybe another one there that you had a harder time with maybe, and that you want to talk about and explain. As we get going on this more, I believe it's really going to grow as we go. And then the more that we do this, we can add to this. Maybe there's other things to this that might make it more fun or more useful, whatever that might be. But this is the starting point to this. I just feel like it's valuable, and I want to at least start with this and then go from here. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you listening to this video. And I really hope that if you're not joined into our community group, that through Skool, that through the link, there'll be a link in YouTube here in the description. But yeah, I hope you can join this group. It's a lot of fun, and this is kind of where we'd like to go. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great day. All right, thanks. Okay, bye.